You know, Team Dog trying to at least, you know, gather a couple more wins at the moment. But this bottom lane should go incredibly well for them, and AT Chaos Knight is such a strong they're both incredibly strong laning stage heroes, and you know, I'm intrigued to see how this Venge is going to play, because you're pretty goddamn squishy. So KuKu, his position has to be on point in this lane.
The chat wheels are out in force.
Always with these teams, they're always, you know, coming out and seeing how they can fare. But I mean, you see the synergy that comes out from T1. You know, you get the Drow, you got the Venge, you got the Ogre, so a lot of amplification, whereas Rated, they don't really have that steroid, and we are really seeing at least one team having some form of a steroid. And, you know, this late game, I love the Phoenix, this pick. Like, the Sunray is going to do so much work this game, the Supernova as well. You know, they don't have the greatest way to protect it. You know, Sonic Wave is actually relatively decent, honestly, just with that pushback, more than what you might expect. And naturally, Radiant don't have any ways to really deal with it. So I like T1's draft, to be honest here. I'm intrigued to see how it's going to work though.
It's okay, in my opinion. I mean, the one buff potential that they've got on Dog is not necessarily something that's used on other people, but the natural order is going to be really nice to be able to be picked up and just right on top of the T1 guys. You know that they're going to be all clumped together after, you know, the first, let's say, 2 items that they're able to pick up. So you might be able to get some really nice Echo Stomps off there and use that to transition into, like, there's wombo combo potential for sure. You know, Echo Stomp, Burst Splitter, Vac Wall, you know, so there's plenty.
I like how they're setting up the lanes as well. They're putting the Elder Titan with the Darks here, so the melee 4 really gets enabled, just being able to utilize the Iron Shell, and he's already going to have so much movement speed as well, and that's always going to get buffed up with the Surge. And then they put the Lesh in the Chaos Knight lane, a point target stun to set up for your Split Earth. So I really like how they're at least running the lanes here from Team Dog.
Okay. Pretty good. What's the nice stun coming through from Whitemon, actually. Gets roddgeee before he's able to reach the small camp to block it up. I want to see what he levels up at 2. He wants to try brawling against the Ogre Magi.
Should be able to do a relatively decent job of that. You see Ogre's even got the Orb of Venom, so he kind of wants to brawl, and I went for the Fire Blast as his level 1, but they've shoved in the lane, so it looks like Radiant really looking to get their level 2s, which iceiceice has already picked up, because they want to punish the Drow. Last sitting under the tower early as a Drow is so incredibly rough, and look at them go, but JaCkky's got his own multi-shot, back. Who's going to get this first blood on the tower? Looks like iceiceice will be able to, and roddgeee's going to be able to scurry away with his life. And also down to the side, Polo and inYourdreaM finds out another kill, which is going to be on Zephyr.
Nicely done. I mean, yeah, that is the one thing with the Phoenix, you know, use the fiery spirits. What's he going to do here? Is he just going to move around? Is he bringing stuff back to... There we go. Picking up the Wraith Band, making sure that KuKu's going to have a better time, and just taunting him a little bit here. Faking out the reality rifts over and over.
I mean, they are going to get a lot of kills in this lane, I think. You know, Zephyr before that dive, and KuKu as well. Like, he's going to be... It's going to be pretty difficult for him. You see, it's awkward to run up. You know, they got the creepy equilibrium. Died to at least get a nice pull off, so they're going to try and offset the equilibrium at the moment in this lane. But how's mid going? Abed 12-3 compared to the 10-5 on Carl, so having a pretty good time at the moment. Carl's got a decent amount of armor, which is going to at least protect him a little bit against that Tidebringer.
Just being annoying with this vacuum, preventing the last hits onto creeps while they're under the tower right before the attack animation's about to go off.
You see both the supports. Yeah. Did they block any?
A shovel in a briefcase.
Well, there's a sentry on the hard now, so just in case they go for the pull, which is really nice. We see a lot of time against the ET. You've got to prioritize making sure he doesn't have any camps to utilize here, because it's so important. If you get you know, some extra stacks and down bot. Zephyr should be okay. He's got the dive, but you just see the harassment. Man, he falls so low. That stun set up from inYourdreaM for Polo is just going to provide them too much threat here. And I mean, you see it's showing right now on how aggressive they're being in the lane. But you know, one thing iceiceice as well is, you know, he's not getting as many last hits, but neither is the Drow. So at least they're kind of, you know, pressuring out also JaCkky.
Nicely done by Whitemon to try and pull this creep camp away, prevent the pull, but this cheeky Centaur Corsair just not wanting a bar of it.
Carl could actually be in trouble with mid if Lesh can get in range for the follow-up stun. Abed's already used the tide, bringing the quick blink. Very close. Beautiful timing there from Abed. You know, with the rotation coming out from the support just by that power rune. He chucked up the X and Torrent at a perfect timing while the Lesh was there. So very close to getting that kill. Just a game of inches. They do at least get the rune away from the Queen of Pain though.
Get away. Level 5 picked up now by Kunkka, so frequently, of course, able to put out the harass. It scales up so much in the early game. Right before these power runes are going to come up, you would think that maybe they might try and go for a cheeky attempt into invading the jungle, take away that bounty rune from Carl, make sure he's not actually able to immediately go back to the lane.
Might end up dying here actually. Abed is a god. Finds the solo kill before the level 6. He's going to be able to shove in the lane, and I mean, Carl's going to miss out on a lot of creeps, and Abed, if he wants to get the bounty, it looks like Zephyr's already set up for that one at least, but we've seen Abed in the past couple of games on the Kunkka, and he's looked incredibly strong, and still continuing with that.
What surge is this?
Got here with Poloson. He's building into a bracer for himself, so you know, in previous games we've seen the position 4s. They want to go this super greedy style, assuming that they're never going to get hit by anything, but you're going to need to contest against this T1 draft. You know, you're going to need to try and run into them at some point, so that little bit of extra HP would be really impactful for someone like Poloson that just wants to live for as long.
iceiceice smoked up to trying to take some stacks in the jungle in case there's any setup here. I mean, he's had a bit of a rougher lane. Might even have an opportunity. You know, Abed having the level 6, I think they really want to try and put pressure on Carl, and even with the power runes about to be up as well. Carl, not going to be able to get that one, unfortunately.
Snipe the career, give it a karate chop, Ice.
iceiceice, come on, get it. Surged up, one more. Oh, with so much damage. Just going to try and TP up, but Radiant have a catapult wave, so you see the emphasis with the supports rotating mid, really trying to put as much damage as they can onto the tower. Just below that halfway point now, so yeah, nicely done from the side of Team Dog, and our Carl could be in trouble. Abed has the ultimate coming through, and Polo's going to be able to follow up with a stun. Whitemon's going to try and disrupt the follow-up damage here, but it will not be enough there from the Ogre Magi. And even with 2 points in the Edict, so this tower is going to continue getting melted, and they're going to be careful how long they want to stick around. Zephyr doesn't have the dive, so with the OET coming forward, he'll pop the Fairy Fire, but still the Tidebringer, such a low cooldown because of the maxed out level. Whitemon does at least find Polo. He's going to try and also drag the creeps off so they're unable to take the tower, but this has been such a good start to the mid lane here. They've got a 2,000 net worth lead on Team Dog.
So efficient with all this. Abed wasn't able to get any of chance to get grabbing the neutral items there, but even taking away some of the farm from T1's side of the map, getting that small camp at the same time as the full wave. And yeah, 4-second cooldown on that Tidebringer. A couple of braces, that's all you really need. Now the completed phase boots too, so it's pretty dangerous to try and contest into any of this, and it's only going to get worse when he reaches level 10 and has that plus 30 damage through.
Dire. They want to punish how aggressive Radiant are playing at the moment up top. iceiceice is going to try and get the surge away, but Whitemon, perfect positioning, will be able to stop him in his tracks. So they've had a pretty good time up top at the moment. You know, Drow's already at that level 6, you know, about 6 2/3 here, so you know, should be able to go farm the jungle at a relatively quick rate if they do start to pressure him out. But
it's another one of the advantages of having the Venge. Like, yes, of course, the Venge buffs the Drow, but if you're having it as a core Venge, the Drow buffs the Venge as well, with the granting nearby heroes with Magi-based Drow's farm that he's been in. Amplifies really beneficial arrangement.
Mid lane, Abed.
Carl.
Well, he's got the run buff now. They're trying to collapse on top of the Kunkka here. KuKu has a swap store to be able to utilize as well. He's going to drag him back. Can you have the Echo Stomp to at least give some space to Abed? He's going to try and turn and deal whatever damage he can before he dies. Now with the Fire Blast as well, Whitemon just gets in range. So the emphasis from T1 to rotate over and keep Carl alive, considering he did kind of suffer early. And they're going to punish Kunkka and also the Elder Titan there. Ice has dropped this wall up top and he's putting a lot of damage on JaCkky, but now with Whitemon TPing, can iceiceice get the kill before Whitemon comes here? And it looks like he won't be able to. White's actually got a dominating spree. He still dies though because the illusion coming through from the wall with that iron shell, but at least iceiceice punishes the Drow.
He's just keeping the illusion on top of him as well with the iron shell, trying to harass out as much Whitemon as he can, but KuKu actually going down here all the way underneath his tower despite going for the stat heavy on full points in the Vengeance Aura.
You see inYourdreaM's also going for a Midas as well. He's already, gone the treads, bracer, a lot of kind of, earlier items to allow him to have a strong lane, and then into the Midas that's going to enable him to kind of, more transition as a later game carry. Because we've been highlighting whenever we see the Chaos Knight. This is a hero who super strong in the lane, but you can really start to fall off because you don't have a way to really keep up in farm. And well, he's got a jelly, which is going to feel pretty nice.
He ain't falling off though. Look at his farm compared to everyone else. A full 1k ahead of the Drow Ranger. Phoenix might be going down here. That pops the full one.
Actually, it looks like iceiceice is going down though. That multicast from Whitemon. This is, I mean, the early levels from the Ogre, kind of paying off there. That multicast is level 7 right now. So it's helping out. I mean, the Phoenix is going to be able to get the tome as well. And looks like JaCkky's also going to be able to take a stack away. So rated, they do have a 2,000 net worth lead at the moment. So they're looking pretty strong in that regard.
But if you told me that it was probably going to be Team Dog taking the first tower of the game and that being the mid tower, I would be saying, well, you sure about that? Especially with this lineup that T1 have got. But just goes to show what good positioning, good vision can do for you.
That's going to be super important for them now as well, because you take a look at the vision that they've got around the triangle, well aware that this is the place that the Drow Ranger wants to be sitting. Even KuKu trying to provide some stacks. That Wave of Terror just a little bit late, unfortunately. So Radiant with... They don't have, what's the Ghost Ship 80-second cooldown at level 1. So they can really take fights pretty aggressively right here and hunt the jungle and pressure JaCkky whenever he's taking the Ancients. But you see instantly, T1 just making sure that the Drow is going to feel comfortable to continue playing around the triangle. So nicely done from T1.
Lots of neutral items as well. JaCkky was lacking a little bit. He gets even a nice Helix L for himself.
Calm mid lane, Relative back, they get the 1 second stun. Polo's gonna try and follow up. Whitemon won't be able to disrupt that. A little nice rotation for them. They tried to smoke up and I think maybe head to the triangle, but because they lost the ward and saw Quap playing as aggressively as she was, so they're like, all right, well, that's a pretty goddamn good kill as well. And meanwhile, take a look at what's happening top. Abed along with iceiceice taking a T1 tower.
Just more pressure throughout the map. I'm impressed. I mean, this is even without the Lesh that's skilled up the Edict. I guess there's nothing really you can do without the Queen of Pain. There's no way you want to be frontlining as the Drow. KuKu, not quite at the point that he would like yet. What's he, I think, queued up? Something delivered. That death setting him back a fair amount.
And with the Queen of Pain struggling at the moment, it's just going to continue reducing her items at a quick rate. And you see how squishy they are at the moment on Dire. Like, this is something you highlighted, them not having kind of this front line going for, the Vengeful Spirit is a 3, which they have shown some flexibility playing in multiple roles, but it's, it's going to make it difficult for them to be able to sustain as this game goes on. So, being about 3,000 gold behind could be a bit tricky, considering they might not have as much impact from the Venge and the Quap. Like, this position 3 might turn into almost like a 3.5 from the Venge instead.
Just looking at some of these timings coming through, very, very close to picking up the armlet here for inYourdreaM. Coming around a similar time as, well, at least the Ogre Axe for Abed as he heads towards his BKB. Just going for the full stats, and he is dealing a crap ton of damage right now. That Tidebringer, the cleave damage, including the damage bonus, he's going to be able to start leading the siege, whereas it feels like T1 just have no one to rally around just yet. They're trying for the swap, but level 1 doesn't do that much.
Yeah, very, very low cast range, and it looked like the Chaos Knight is actually swapped up the build. He's going to be going for the Sunjin Yasha instead of the armlet there.
It's totally fine as well. He's good at all stages, prevents the silence even. You know, the status resistance is going to be quite nice.
See, I guess it's also going to end up giving you like a little bit of extra attack speed, if that's going to be as much of an importance here, because they really don't have a way to deal with the Tombstone. Is this a game where they feel like on did I say Tombs?
Tombstone.
I
blame
blame
a lot of undying. There's been a lot.
You know, when it gets to 2 AM, I can just blame that instead of just, you know, my mind playing games with me. But yeah, I do mean the egg. It's a game where Radiant have a bit of a more difficult way to be able to deal with it, considering they don't have like this, you know, more conventional, you know, position 4 or some of the carries that are a lot better against it. So that little bit of attack speed could come in handy at the early levels with the level 1 Supernova.
As well as going in onto the backlines as well, right? Like, if you go the Sanjin Yasha, you can eventually disassemble it. You can build into a halberd and maybe into a blink then. Get on top of the Drow Ranger, make sure the marksmanship isn't a factor, and still have the sustain through juicing that damage to make sure that she's just not going to burst you down. And that just allows the rest of the team to converge in on you and potentially set up for that wombo combo.
And we see iceiceice once again going for this interesting build. You know, last time we played the Darkseer, I kind of brought it up like questioning, is this kind of a build right now on the Darkseer? But it looks like iceiceice likes it. You know, the Urn boots of travel, putting more points up in the vac after the Iron Shells max out. So, you know, at least it's going to allow him to constantly be involved.
What's he going into next? So, Guard? Vanguard here? Ice?
It looks like a casual one. Interesting. Down bot, might have an engagement. Abed just picked up the level 12 as well. Xepter was going to get found here. That dive will not do anything. Has to commit the Supernova just to keep his life. So, I mean, unfortunately, yeah, that's true. If they didn't use boat, Radiant would have felt pretty confident with actually maybe making like a smoke maneuver or something. But I have been impressed with how much farm JaCkky's been getting. Like, this is, you know, one of the better carry players that we've seen kind of develop in the Southeast Asia region, and T1 have done a very good job at being able to kind of protect the area that he's been farming here. This bottom tier 1 usually you wouldn't say is as important, but when you have someone who really relies around playing around the triangle, it can just open up a lot more movements for the enemy team to infiltrate through, and also the fact that T1 have done a very good job at kind of warding and de-warding in that area.
Yeah, particularly the warding. Like, there's only one entry point that's available, and that's to the right of this high ground. Bit tier 1, but obviously Dog realizing, hey, we haven't seen the Drow for a while. That's probably where he is, just in case we want to try and make something happen. Make sure there's no wards nearby. Ping's happening towards bottom lane. This lane's eventually going to push in the siege creep to assist, but Abed might want to just go down there. He's got the
oh no,
stacking. Oh.
They might. Are they going to smoke on Dire? They tried to drop a sentry. They're all grouped up. Look at the information that Radiant just had, seeing everyone in the jungle. So it looks like iceiceice is going to try and shove in bot. And then they might be in fighting shape here, because inYourdreaM, he's got the Sunjin Yasha completed. Maybe thinking that they grouped up, and yeah, they really want to try and protect this tier 1 mid. You know, when because Dire need a. It feels like they haven't really made a movement, just still playing pretty passive, allowing the Drow to find the farm, but it's allowing Radiant also just hold all their objectives.
Just picked up a Vambrace as well, and you can see here he is going into that Blink Dagger on the Chaos Knight, so wanting to get it onto the backlines before they're able to dish out too much damage. It also means that, you know, you might force Xepter to pop a Supernova if you're getting this early timing on that Blink, so level 1 is still pretty damn squishy, only 6 attacks needed to get rid of it.
Once KuKu also gets that level 12 in the swap, it's going to give them a lot easier way to be able to find a couple of pickoffs, because they are lacking at the moment. You see Radiant, they're actually just grouping up for the tier 2. maybe trying to force some rotations. They've got a relatively good ward on the high ground. It's going to see one of the stairs coming up here for actually see a second one if they come through the mid lane instead. But you know, Polo's going to posture pretty aggressively. iceiceice with the backpack as well. Polo, can he get in range for the stun? He can't, but here comes inYourdreaM. Reality Rift, Whitemon's in trouble. Got to be careful how deep you want to dive. And now with the swap, inYourdreaM, they don't get the silence, so now with the stun prevents the Phoenix from dropping the supernova. Will do so at the end, but it looks like the rest of Radiant need a retreat. Carl has got the heals. Can he get the vision on anyone though? Looks like he can't, so it's going to be a 1-for-1, but that is a big fight for T1 as Karasite was top of the net worth.
It's a big fight, but why did they take it? There's no Kunkka there. It was a little bit odd to me, but gonna let T1 slightly back into this game. I felt like it was starting to run away from them with Team Dog, just with some good team play coming together and being able to take a few objectives. Getting a little bit too cocky though in the end.
Maybe it's just some miscommunication as Abed, you know, after that wave just finished the BKB. They just had the mechanism completed as well, so going a bit too aggressive there before their timings. You know, maybe that's the call from the Chaos Knight is like, guys, I got my Sunjin Yasha, I want to fight, but you know, maybe it's just needing to be a little bit more vocal out of the other heroes because how close they were to their own timings. But they're actually going to try and walk and claim Roche here. I mean, the supernovas on cooldown, and you do have the minus armor with that reality rift up to 6 now for him. And they've got, you know, all their ultimates actually walls down for another 20 seconds here. But so scan connects, here they come.
Doesn't look like JaCkky's all that keen to try and join though, unless he just wants to push this underneath the tower or stuffs himself back.
Well, it's falling low here. They got to do something. AT is just going to try and zone them away. They even drop the ward as well, so they want to try and take the fight back. Drag back KuKu. He's fine, but they do get the X on Carl, who's got the heals to the blink away. Abed won't be able to get vision for the Torrent, but it looks like they drag back Whitemon. Now Torrent on KuKu as well. They're in trouble. The wall's on too. JaCkky's got to be careful as well that he shows himself, because Abed is going to have the X. It's up in a couple of seconds. They'll surge the Kunkka, and JaCkky, he's in trouble here. Gus going to try and disrupt it. They slap the Earth Splitter perfectly timed here as they're going to punish them. You know, there we go. We see Radiant. They take a fight with all their item timings. And Carl mid, he's chilling unless Abed can get in range. No, he doesn't have that surge movement speed. So they're, you know, beautifully done from Team Dog.
And if he wants to buy it, he's got enough for the Blink Dagger as well on the Chaos Knight. So it's a pretty handy situation to be in where you're spoiled for choice. You can opt to go for that BKB. Even just having the Phantasm against the Phoenix is so nice. You know, even if you get the perfect Fiery Spirits onto people, simply press your R, it's gone. You can just freely hit away at that egg. Might even get lucky and dodge out the Sonic Wave.
They found Zephyr here. He's got the Supernova. He might be forced to use it. T1, they're about to respawn as well. Can he get the cleave off? No, won't be able to. Actually connects with the Torrent. I don't think the Urns on him for long enough, but look how strong Radiant feel. They don't have all their ultimates up at the moment, but they really want to take these objectives before Dire are at a state where they feel confident fighting. They just can't find the initiation. KuKu's leading forward. AT is just going to face check and zone it back though. Now you got to be careful how far you overstep the mark with how squishy you are in the Venge. They're back in. Abed. Still got a 10-second BKB charge, and their ultimate's about to come back up. Wall in 10 seconds. Splitter in another 15 as well, so that's a secondary tier 2, and they might just look to link up with bot. Cop instantly going to try and TP down Carl, recognizing this is the next objective here for Team Dog.
Holding a lot of gold on this CK. Nearly up to 4,000 at this point. He's not quite sure. Maybe he's going to buy the BKB all at once. An option.
Might want to back off and wait for him to get the item as Whitemon face checking Radiant. They can kite the fight back. They don't have everyone just yet. inYourdreaM's going to try and turn on control the Ogre. Meanwhile, Polo as well trying to lock in Carl. He's already used the heals very defensively. Sonic Wave, it's not enough. He's actually still gets the blink out finally, but now with the comp Supernova, they stun up JaCkky's incredibly weak at defensive swap, but he's got to be careful with the X. Drag it back. JaCkky's in trouble. Abed with the BKB, they continue to hunt. Torrent perfectly placed, going to be able to find KuKu. And inYourdreaM, that Chaos Ball once again, a 3-second stun, and T1 just unable to take a fight successfully on their side of the map as Team Dog are way too far ahead. It's an ultra for inYourdreaM, and even the ET keeps his life, or the Vengeful might be able to get it with the illusion. Needs the juke and jive, needs some help for the team. Team, help me, I'm getting chased from the illusion. Do something. No,
oh, don't reality rift him closer.
No.
Oh, so close. Well, no frontliner. Turns out bad.
Yet Very true. Just an easy way to analyze this one. No frontline, bad game.
Just doesn't feel good, right? Like, no one wants to run in first in a team fight unless you know you've got some sort of save. Like KuKu, he's very much a team player, but you're a Venge, right? You're a core Venge. You need to be able to survive, at least to be able to get off that second swap. And it just feels like if you're putting yourself on the front lines, they've got enough stuns to be able to lock you down before that's going to happen. He ends up going the straight AC instead of the BKB or the Blink Dagger on the Chaos Knight.
It feels like whenever you have a lineup like this where you've kind of gone in full for a strat and you don't have someone to tank up, like it feels like you really have to snowball a game almost before the enemy team can find the items and almost get the blinks to punish how squishy you are and position base. And T1 just unfortunately unable to do that. Like they are now 8,000 gold behind. And yes, JaCky is still farming nicely, and even honestly Carl has done a decent job at being able to come back relatively well in the net worth. But they're 5k behind the Chaos Knight, who's on top. And it's more as well on KuKu, which is almost neck and neck with the position 4 on Radiant.
Put up again, they got the haste on Abed. He's able to just simply clear out a wave, probably smoke coming through. Go. Forward. Ice. Maybe get one more Ion Shell off onto the creep wave, then join the rest of his team. Got enough for his Shivas as well, so that's why he's sticking around.
No, Whitemon. He's in trouble here. It's just sticking on the high ground. Looks like they don't want that target. They're going to go simultaneously for an extra hero here. inYourdreaM, Leshrac to support. They want the backline as well. JaCkyy's got to be careful. He's got the Hurricane Pike if he can get it off fast enough to get inside the base. Abed's even going to try and drop the bird on top of the backline, straight on top of the Drow, just in case for the defensive swap, but at least does keep him alive. Age is going to tick out, but man, this game is just... It's just running them over. Team Dog, such an incredible performance from them so far in game 1. It feels like T1 can't do anything.
Yeah, and they've even got that that Assault Cuirass, which means that taking all of these racks is going to be so much easier. You've even got the illusions to tank up the majority of those hits from the glyph. So Creep's still here. Don't have to worry too much about backdoor protection kicking in. Even if it does, they'll have taken out this racks before then. And Diabolic Edict, AC, it's going to be enough.
There's got some bounties still left to claim as well, and a decent amount of gold in the bank as well. inYourdreaM already up to 2,200. And what's happening top, Carl? Let's just battle it out with iceiceice. Just see what he's able to do. Make it a little bit annoying for him. It's just T1 are actually smoking. All right, so this feels like they show across at least iceiceice top Polo as well. Actually, TP's got to get cancelled here. And this feels like it's going to be their first kill in quite a while.
Ah, clear sailing now.
Slightly out of position on Poloson. He's finally been able to finish up that Greaves. That's all he really needs to do. He just needs to live in a lot of these fights. I feel like Poloson hasn't been all that integral to their success all throughout. I mean, Abed absolutely dumpstered that mid lane, which came from a pure mechanical outplay coming through there. And Chaos Knight just being so effective with all of his timings. That Midas coming into effect super early on. And just being able to have multiple strength heroes that can stand on the front lines, not care all too much about some of the aggression coming towards them. So can't fault all too much about Team Dog outside of that one slightly too deep dive coming from inYourdreaM at the bottom tier 2.
They are starting to posture pretty aggressively here with the mid lane shoving in. They got a decent observe ward combined up with 2 inside the river. So it looks like they're going to try and take a fight, but you got to be careful because inYourdreaM, I mean, he just picked up the BKB here. Before this engagement is going to have a fresh item to be able to utilize as well. Dive forward, Supernova. Can they even be able to deal with it? Nice to combine up with the Sonic Wave. It's a decent fight starting off right now from Dire, but can they have any more follow-up damage? That's a question. JaCkyy's trying to free hit on top of the backline. He's got the BKB and the Hurricane Pike as well, but Abed instantly trying to get on top of the Drow. They'll zone him away. Meanwhile, inYourdreaM just deals with the rest of T1. What looked like a decent fight for them. They get the combos out, but just the damage wasn't there. They're sustained with the Greaves, along with the run buff, really limiting what T1 could dish out.
And the Shiva's Guard aura as well, meaning that the Supernova, the Sunray, despite being fantastic, like you said, I can't think of a better fight that they could have possibly had. Position 5, position 4, dishing out 4.2k damage in a team fight, and you still lose. It's looking a bit rough. They're looking to push forward, maybe back off a little bit. Kind of surprising to me, considering they won't have Glyph. You know there's no Supernova, you know there's no Sonic Wave, but maybe they just want to make it a short thing. Take the next Roshan.
Yeah, that second one is up and ready for them to claim. Ages and cheese, you see all the couriers scouting out. That is, you know,
It's a courier
thing
party.
about, yeah, it's cruising, chilling along. Remember when they that changed with the couriers when they said in the patch notes that you'd be able to use the items on the courier, and everyone was like, oh my god, 12 slot Dota just dropping meteor hammers, shoving out side lanes and
Dagoning people down.
yeah, exactly. It's just, you know, trying to micro. Dota's already a hard enough game, and you know, trying to fly a courier in a fight with, you know, trying to chuck out a Dagon randomly. Yeah, you don't see that one. I don't even know if it's still a thing. Can you even still use stuff for the courier?
No.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I didn't see it like at all when it was brought up, and I
Ward previously with it. That
oh,
was
that's
just
right. Yeah. I'm like, oh, it was so. I like vaguely remember like the patch note where they got rid of it, but I just didn't see it enough to be like 100% certain that it was just completely gone. It's just a funny thing where they, you know, they always do these patches where they get rid of, so they bring stuff in and they're like, oh yeah, that's not good. We're gonna revert back.
What's
This
beta
is-
testing, you know?
Yeah, that's
Doesn't
true.
exist.
That's true. Polo. Well, here comes the water high gun once again, trying to utilize this here. Polo with the Greaves, slowed up. See if the ET can kind of disrupt this. They're going to be careful inside the choke point ready. They don't have the vision at the moment, but inYourdreaM's going to move forward. A perfect Echo Stomp. The Earth's going to fall. They're going to try and deal with the Phoenix before the Supernova. It's a 1-for-1 to start, but it looks like T1, they just have to try and retreat away. As the damage, they dished out everything with the Leshrac, and as soon as they get the kill, they've kind of blown their load there as 3 will fall, and this is a game that Team Dog are just playing incredibly methodically with a 18,000 net worth lead, and it's just seems like it's a game where they should be able to close out here.
That's the thing with going this build on the Leshrac as well. He's just gone full sustain, tons of armor, tons of health. He's got a heal for himself as well so that he can get away without the slows being on him. And they have to commit so heavily, you know, diving deep into enemy lines. And it means that in that time, you're just freely able to go in onto the back lines of T1, something that we thought, you know, maybe that would be the one area of Team Dog that trips them up. They can't get in onto this Drow. They can't get on the back lines onto the Phoenix.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
They come to you, you're not all that worried about it.
And we're just going to continue seeing them, and that's now the last remaining outer tower claimed here from Team Dog. And I mean, they've got the Aegis for just under another 3 minutes, and even a Lotus all picked up. Like, look at the itemization from Radiant. So much armor against Dire's lineup, and you know that the Ogre's not really going to dish anything out. Phoenix, you know, a little bit of the abilities, but it's mainly this Drow and kind of the Venge minus armor that you're worried about.
The Drow, the Venge minus armor, you've also got the, yeah, with the AC, it's just going to be so impactful. You're not all that worried about the marksmanship being able to remove all of that for you. And then for yourself, we talk about the AC, provides the minus armor to them as well. And you've got the natural order. So some of these heroes are below,
Radiant's top tower is
below
under
0.
attack.
You know, they've got negative armor right now. Drow has negative armor. If, like, she's got +1. It's not good enough.
That's you just get shredded. I mean, you see what the Chaos Knight's able to do to a couple of these heroes, but I mean, the win probability, I got 1%, so at least it's not 0%.
So you're saying there's a chance?
There's a chance. It could maybe take them about 30 minutes. Oh, they do push pretty fast with the Drow, honestly, but still, it's gonna take them a while to bump that 1% chance up to a respectable number where they might be able to take it, but
I'm just doing some quick maths here. So Drow having 1 armor when Elder Titan is standing next to her. You've got the AC, which is another 5. Dallion, which is another 5. And the Reality Rift as well, which is another 6. So that's negative 15 armor. Would not surprise me if Abed one-shots him.
oh god.
Oh, and the Orb of Destruction. My bad. Negative 19.
Oops, forgot another. Jesus, that's just. Ugh. I mean, how you. The one way I can see T1 maybe hoping to take a fight is if Radiant just dive way too far inside the base. Like, you drop a Supernova in a good spot, the Sonic Wave, JaCkyy's just able to siege on the back line. And that's why it does kind of feel a little bit more difficult for Radiant to go up, because the Chaos Knight's not the greatest sieger. But you got the Aegis. You got to try and force it out here, because this is pretty much your only real opportunity. But they're going to try and jump off to the side here, back drag, back almost time of the torrent. So they're actually going to blink forward here from Carl with a swap away. Abed's incredibly deep. He's got the cheese to be able to utilize. BKB's going going to get popped as well. Cards will make a good job to zone away the rest of Radiant, but it looks like they're just going to disengage. That's a lot of BKB's Force. inYourdreaM slowed up. Force as well. Well, lots of BKBs now. That's 9 seconds for Carl. JaCkky's down to a 7. You know, they can reset with I mean, only 17 seconds left on the Aegis, unfortunately.
I'm liking this team play out of Ice as well. You know, he's not too concerned about, oh, I need to be doing big damage. He's gone the Ion Shell provides max health, and a couple of times now, Poloson's only been able to get away because he's cast that on top of him. So it's a really nice understanding of what's going to help out your team and being able to adapt from what might be, you know, the most popular talent build.
I mean, you see how tanky they are as well. Like, CK's got 3900 HP, Abed 2900. All the effective HP that's coming out with the run buff, and you know, also the sustain that they're providing. You know, all the damage mitigation. Exactly, yeah. So it's just stupid amount. Like, T1 have to have a miraculous fight somehow on their high ground, and I mean, it's getting just even more difficult. I guess it is showing that Radiant are lacking, like, because the Chaos Knight didn't go for a blink. You know, Darkseid doesn't have a blink as well. The pick off and punishing, you know, one of the squishy heroes on T1 that are pushed out too far outside the base. But Abed dive with a nice ward here. Oh my god, that's perfect. iceiceice glitch to them. Venge and Whitemon when he tries to help out, but it's not going to work. Lotus up as well, keeps KuKu on the high ground. Meanwhile, look at the Echo Stomp on the backline, sets up for the turret. Rumble coming out as well, pops the BKB. Drow's going to try and turn, dish out some damage on top of the Elder Titan, but instead, look at the Supernova. It's going to end up getting popped because instantly Team Dog deal with it. Carl's even kicked himself on the high ground. Blink's going to be up in a couple seconds, chucks up the Sonic Wave, does end up finding 2. The buybacks have to be forced here. Radiant, how deep do you want to dive? But it looks like inYourdreaM shredding them apart. They'll end up losing the Venge. Carl's still gonna work as well. The X drag back. Abed's got the torrent. It forces out way too many buybacks. And what a beautiful start there from Radiant. It's just a vac, just iceiceice styling on them.
And finally, they're like, okay, guys, now we can take the towers. It's fine now.
I mean, inYourdreaM's got them level 25. Like, what are you gonna do? That's extra plus 10% KO strike chance. It's 40 now. That's stupid. I don't know. This. You got the quad buyback available, but the ultimate is down, and you see iceiceice back into the torrent. Carl's gonna buy back, try and force out this deep. Oh, perfect timing with the stun. Now they're gonna turn as well. Buy back Cop, and insta dive back the tip from Polo as well. That's well worth the tip, man. The timing from you puts him down in the deck. 100 seconds, 2 full sets of racks advantage for Team Dog. And they have now a 30,000 net worth lead, and they're not done. There's no tier 2 towers down at the bottom side, so they're just going to try and get the mega creeps and close out this game 1 here. As I don't know how T1 hold this, honestly. What's the probability? It's still 1%. It's probably going to jump up a little bit soon, as there we go. iceiceice forward, back, perfect time. The torrent instantly assassinates the Ogre. It's going to buy back, but once again with the Echo Stomp, they're going to be able to find the Drow range. Can he pop the BKB fast enough? JaCkky can. Turns to deal with Abed, but they've just got the force after armor, after survivability, and the damage is not there. Back inside the base they go. Kunkka still has the cheese even to be able to utilize as well, and it looks like he's almost got the Aghanims too. Just working on that point booster. There we go.
Telling that, getting the courier over towards him. It's just waiting for him as soon as the X is back.
Oh.
And there we go, Torrent Storm available.
Well, now we're gonna see
let's go, baby.
A messy fight. They've already got such synergy with all the AoE control. Even we've seen iceiceice now with the blink. So, you know, it's already kind of looking like it's game. But you know, why not just go for a beautiful wombo combo to you know, take it in style here.
Potato PCs, get ready.
Oh god, please no. There we go, Ice. Let's reveal it. 5-man wipe him. inYourdreaM straight away forward. KuKu just getting absolutely shredded. Nothing they can do on top of the backline. Venge
there we go.
Ends up dropping. There's the back the torrent. They drop the supernova in the middle, but instantly the BKBs. The rest of Team Dog tries to deal with it, and it looks like that's it. They'll call it 37 minutes in. Team Dog had a 36,000 net worth lead, celebrated with the Torrent Storm as well. And this was just a masterclass from Team Dog, even playing with a stand-in as well.
Win probability still says they got a 1% chance though, so what are we thinking here? How are they going to come back?